Hello, everybody. My name is Shira Raymond, and I want to welcome you to my new show, Suddenly Single. On this show, it's going to be epic. We're going to be talking about mindset, personal growth, and choices that you can make in moving forward with your life after divorce or if you're widowed. For me, I'm kind of the poster child of my brand. After being married for 25 years, I asked my then husband for a divorce. And one of the things that we met and married in Israel, and then we moved back to the United States. And one of the things that when I was living in the States is I always wanted to come back to Israel. And so when I asked for the divorce, for me, it was a no brainer to come back. Actually, a month after we filed for the civil divorce, I was on a plane. I also realized that my quality of life and the choices that I wanted would be much better here in Israel. For one thing, health insurance is socialized medicine here, where in America, I would have had to be on Obamacare. My ex husband carried the health insurance for the family through his job, and it was really good. But as a single person and having to go on Obamacare, I knew that my insurance alone would probably cost me $6, $8, or $1,000 a month. But if I came to Israel, I pay $50 a month for the top tier insurance. So already that was a great financial choice for me. So in this show, my goal is to give you all the information you need to create the next chapter of your life on your terms. Because life is too short to keep staying in the same path if you're not happy with the direction it's going or has been going until this point. And for you ladies that are out there who are divorced, whether by choice or uh, it was your ex husband who was the one who asked for it, now you have this time to be able to really reflect on your life as a married person and decide what it was that was good, that you liked, that you wanted to keep, the traits about yourself that were good or maybe not good enough. But only once we start that self-examination can we begin to change and grow into the people and have the kind of life that we want to create. Because, see, I firmly believe that God or source energy, universe, however you want to refer to him, is awesome. I'm going to refer to him as God during this show. He has the power to help you to create the type of life that you want. But if you don't know what you want, if something is given to you, you're not going to appreciate it. So I'm going to give you tools and tricks and invite guests on to help you to grow, to help you to really realize what your options are. Because in creating a new life, well, I actually did wake up one day and go, oh, I want a divorce. I'm not happy. But the idea of coming back to Israel, that was not a new idea for me. I just happened to make it work really, really quickly. But I already knew what I wanted. And for like 3 years before that, I had this amazing client that I got just as much out of our sessions together as she did. Probably not quite as much, but it really got me to grow and change and look at life in a completely different way than I had ever been exposed to before. And so I'm quite grateful for her for all the changes and the knowledge that was given to me as well within working with this clients. And so those are things that I want to impart to you ladies out there, that you know what? Life is too short to be stuck in the past. It's too short to stay in this mindset that life is hard, that bad things keep happening to you. Because once you make the decision to change your perspective and to move into gratitude, your life changes. And whatever happened in the past, you begin to realize that all of those experiences there were for your highest good. In Judaism, we're taught that God only tests us in things that we can handle. And it's not our job to stay stuck in the past and allow these negative things to bring us down. It's okay for a little while. I mean, obviously, if you lose a loved one or other things happen, you're allowed a mourning period. But to stay stuck in those emotions for the rest of your life is not the reason why you were tested that way. You were tested that way so you could learn the lessons and grow from those experiences. I remember in my 30s, I was dating this gentleman, and his father had passed away during what was one of his favorite holidays. And from that time, his mother refused to celebrate that holiday because it was too painful for her knowing that this was her late husband's favorite holiday. And so here she separated herself from her family. It was a big holiday and a big festive meal. And instead of going and enjoying the extended family and being with them, she chose to isolate herself. Now, do you really think that's something her late husband would have wanted? No. He would have wanted her to continue to be part of the family and to celebrate that and to think of him and how much he loved that holiday while she was there with the family. And so, this is what I'm talking about: choices and perspectives. And if the perspective that you're currently holding is not a positive one and launching you forward to create something better in your life, then it's time you shift your perspective. You know, so many times we are stuck with limiting beliefs that we don't even realize are limiting beliefs. You know, we hear these stories all the time. Oh, money doesn't grow on trees. Well, who said? Just because you have been limited to a certain amount of money your whole life, and you've heard people saying that, get a job, get a college degree, and then get a job and have a steady paycheck the rest of your life. Who said that's the only way it needs to be? That's their perspective. And just because that's how they choose to live their life doesn't mean you have to make those same choices. But until you start to examine everything that's going on in your life and these sentences and these beliefs that you've been hanging on to for the last 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years that are no longer serving you, it's time to change and grow. I know probably 5 years ago, I had this idea that, I never won anything in a raffle. So, I would still donate to the raffle, but I didn't expect to win anything. And then I changed my perspective on that. And a couple years ago, I remember I was at this networking event, and about 4 of us were presenting that day, and we all had to bring in a gift that was going to be raffled off to everybody who was there. Guess who won all the raffle prizes? Me. I gave a few away. I gave a few, obviously the ones that I bought, I didn't need, so I had them re-raffle them off. But it was just very interesting that here I changed my perspective of it. And now all of a sudden, I'm winning everything. Today I went into one of the clothing stores here to buy my daughter, who's coming to Israel soon, some clothes when she gets here. And they were having a special raffle that they had a dreidel because it's Hanukkah right now. And you spin the dreidel, and depending on which letter that it fell on, you got a certain price. And it also corresponds with the game of dreidel that we play. That, if it falls on one letter, it means you get nothing. If it falls on another, you get half the pot. So they had to correspond with that. So the letter G or Gimel, if it landed on that, you got 50% off. That was the biggest price they had. So she said, okay, here, why don't you spin the dreidel while you're waiting while we ring up your stuff? And I said, sure, no problem. So I grabbed the dreidel and I spun it. And as it was starting to slow down, I'm like, Gimel, 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 putting it out there in the world. And sure enough, it landed on Gimel. And so I got my whole purchase for 50% off. I mean, it was a bargain as it was, but 50% is 50%. So who's going to complain about that? So on the show, we're going to be talking about changing your perspective. My goal is also to bring on people that are going to be of service to you, whether it be divorce attorneys or financial planners or other people that for you to understand what you need to do with this new chapter in your life so you can create it on your terms. So I look forward to engaging with you. I'd also really, really like this show to be interactive. And so I'd like you to go to my website and download the free ebook, Embrace New Beginnings, to help you begin to shift this perspective to create the next chapter of your life on your terms. See you next week.